Here with Catamount head coach Jim Clift after an impressive doubleheader sweep of North Carolina A&T, an 8-5 win in Game 2, a 7-0 win in Game 1. But Coach, you mentioned it in the pregame, the long ball was really working with 5 home runs in both the contests today.
Yeah, those are things you can't count on, but when you get them, well, it sure makes life easier. And they came at some good points. Even the last one put us in a position where we knew that they couldn't come back with just one swing. And they obviously were huge. It was good to see the bats swinging and kind of getting healthy. 2
of your players, Carly Harkey, along with Kara Salvo, players we saw have power a year ago, found their first home run this year, and they hit the ball hard in their other at-bats. Do you sort of see this as maybe a coming-out party for them offensively?
Well, if they take advantage of it, absolutely. I mean, hitting's about feeling good, and I'm not talking physically, mentally feeling good. And both of them are feeling good. Now, Kara has really been hitting well. Now, you don't see it in the home run production, but she has really been hitting well. Her average is popping back up there where I think by the end of the season, she'll be at Kara Salvo numbers. I have no doubt about that. She's haven't ever thought about dropping her from the 3 spot. She's got some of the most productive at bats all year long. But you're starting to see some other, nobody knows about Crystal Sear, and she's starting to get monster scary.
Yeah.
And she did it last week against some great competition, then came here against a solid team, and she just, you can see that swag in her walk. She's really feeling very strong and confident.
You talked about how this game oftentimes starts in the circle and the infield shortly there to follow. Not only did you get a good performance in the circle, really in both games, but especially in Game 1 when Jordan Garrett had a complete game, it was just another case of Jordan being Jordan.
Yeah, and she kind of started a little slow. She wasn't quite as crisp, and what a good pitcher does when she's not feeling sharp, she figures out a way to get it done, and she did, and then she got rolling. And she had 8 strikeouts. I'm not sure if she had very many in the first couple innings, so those are really in a very condensed portion of the game. She's doing a great job. It's her senior year, and she knows it, and she's focused and ready for success.
Courtney Buchanan gets the start in Game 2, getting her first win of the year. And really, the first couple innings I thought were key not only for her, but for how that game played out. Got out of trouble in both the first and second inning. The second inning with bases loaded and 1 out. What do you think getting out of jams like that in key situations in games do for her confidence going forward?
Well, that's where that's what expertise means, right? It's experience. It's being there. The old saying, act like you've been there. Well, it's hard to act like you've been there if you've never been there. And so you need to have experiences like that and be successful in those experiences. It can go the other way. You've seen some really great athletes almost be ruined because when they were in that situation, they weren't successful, and they start believing that they couldn't be successful in those situations. So those are critical. You'd like to go smooth all the way through a game and not be pressured, but we had 1 run at the time in both those innings. So we didn't have any kind of comfortable lead, and you shouldn't. This team, I don't think anybody should take them lightly at all, because they can hit the ball and they can put it out at any time.
Yep.
So it was critical for her to have those experiences.
I want to talk about this team as a whole now. A lot of times coaches divide the season into 3 parts. The pre-conference, the conference, and then the postseason. Now that a lot of your non-conference action behind you, you're going to start getting home games with more regularity, a place that you've played exceptionally well this year. What's the assessment of where your team is now heading into the Southern Conference play this weekend?
Well, I felt, and I think the team feels, that our record is not we're not happy with that. And these 2 wins are nice, but we by no means feel that we've arrived. We've got a lot to prove, not just to people out there, but to ourselves. We expected a lot more up to this point, and we know that the pieces are there. We know that the abilities there. It's not like we underestimated overestimated what we had going and what they could do. And not all of the pieces are starting to click together at the same time, but they're getting there. And when they sync up a little bit, I think we're going to be just fine. Jordan's been solid all year. She's had a couple outings that weren't as good as other outings, but she's never just been bad.
Right.
And I don't expect that to happen. I mean, every pitcher has an off game, and somebody figures you out. But she's done real well for us all year, and I think she's ready to go to battle in conference. We'll be looking for good pitching performances from all of our pitchers, and we're going to need them at one time or the other.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time here this evening. Congratulations on the doubleheader win. A high note to end your non-conference slate before conference season gets underway at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon against the Buccaneers from ETSU. For our entire crew, this is Kyle Rush saying so long here from the Catamount Softball Complex.